Hello guys, Eric Pierce here, and today we're going to talk about amethyst, one of my favorite crystals of all time. It's a very deep reason behind it. Let's start with some amethyst history. Amethyst belongs to the quartz family, as you may know. It's quite obvious. The Greek people gave a name to this crystal, kristallos. It means that they thought that this crystal was water which was frozen so deeply that it was never meant to be unfrozen again. Of course, this goes against any chemistry and laws of how the matter works, and it is not true. Of course, crystals grow molecularly by high pressure cavities. They grow with pressure, heat, and they need a lot of time to grow. Amethyst has also its own legend, which says that the god of wine, there was a lady which wanted to remain pure and not have any form of relations with men, but the god of wine wanted to have something with her, and that lady asked for help from the divine to remain pure, and thus I think it was Artemis, the goddess, which turned her into a clear quartz crystal. And the god of wine was so he felt bad, so he poured his wine on the crystal, and that is how it became purple. Of course, it's a myth. It's not philosophy, it's a myth. Okay, crystal amethyst. Let's begin with the variety, which is this. You can call it pineapple quartz, spirit quartz, or cactus quartz, or porcupine quartz. That are different variations of the name. The fun part is that on the internet it says that it can be only found in the mountains of South Africa, but this specimen I got it was from Bulgaria mines, and I'm like, why would they say it's only from South Africa when I got a specimen which is absolutely not from South Africa because it was in the mine. This is not any type of crystal that you may think it is not related to amethyst. This is 100% amethyst. It is light because this spirit quartz, we haven't found any spirit quartz which has the Uruguayan, of course, variety, the depth in the color. I'll explain later the different tones according to the country origin. This spirit quartz grows very light colored crystals of amethyst, and they're still hexagonal because it's quartz, and quartz will always grow hexagonally. It still has a hardness of 7, and it grows on a base of agate as well, so you can say that this could be a geode, a cracked geode. Okay. When it bigger as it gets, the more expensive as it gets naturally. Although in the mine there in Bulgaria, they're very cheap. I don't know why I didn't get the big one. But I guess this summer I'll go again to the how do you call it? A gem show. As I said, it always grows light crystals, and it's a very interesting variation of amethyst. The energy, according to the energy, it is very similar to amethyst, but it also has some of the clear quartz properties. I mean, it varies into clear quartz and amethyst properties. Because of the color, and really it's a very interesting combination of both, which makes this crystal obviously one of my favorites. It's a very interesting specimen, don't you think? Well, that was one of the variations, which you have to bear in mind when you have to view amethyst specimens. Then, let's go with the other one. Okay. We have this, and as you can see, it has purple striations. Do you call it striations? Like the lines? And you have also white, and there are even darker ones. I'll explain to you. The darker ones are actually smoky quartz, a crystal which also belongs to the quartz, naturally. And but what I wanted to point out in this crystal was that the combination between purple lines and clear quartz lines, it's called chevron amethyst or dream amethyst as well, or banded amethyst as well. This crystal also forms by a combination of clear quartz and purple amethyst, although there's something quite unique about this. This has very different properties from this one. So if you want to buy a specimen which has the energy of clear quartz and amethyst, I would suggest you buy both of those, because they're just because they have both of the amethyst and clear quartz doesn't mean that they're the same. They have the same properties. No, they have different properties. You will find out once you get it. This one is very different from this one. You can see that here it has a very interesting beginning, well, an end actually. It's like, it's almost as if it grew from a cave and it was pulled and then polished. Of course, this is a polished piece, but this is also one of the specimens which you have to bear in mind. Chevron amethyst is also a very good choice. Then we have the regular quartz amethyst, which is a sphere. Now, amethyst can grow as well with combination with citrine. It becomes when I've already talked about citrine. It becomes when a amethyst is heated partially in some area, not the whole area. And this area becomes heated naturally, and thus it becomes citrine. It only comes from Bolivia, from only one country from there, and that's what it makes it so rare nowadays. I haven't had the possibility of experience its properties myself, because the only piece I had, I gifted it to someone important to me, and when I gifted it to that person, I had no idea this this was an ametrine, because it was hidden in a zone which I didn't pay attention to. But yes, and actually this is a sphere, as you can see. It has been polished, and the quality is very poor on this piece, though. It is not an expensive piece, you may think. Just because it's shaped into a sphere doesn't make it that expensive. This is very cheap because it is very poor in color. The amethyst is graded depending on the color. The more darker it is, the more expensive it gets. You have no idea how expensive it can get if you want a dark color amethyst specimen. And those usually come only from Uruguay. Uruguayan crystals are like the very little, bigger than those, but little crystals which are just like that, ordered very close to each other, but very dark in color, and they are very small crystals as well. This is a Brazilian amethyst. Brazilian amethyst forms big crystals, massive crystals, but they're lighter than the Uruguayan. I personally prefer the Brazilian type of quartz, because the Uruguayan is more beautiful in color, I suppose, because it's darker and it's more attractive to me. Although I also really, have no idea what happened with my camera. But I don't know, I have been having some issues with this camera. As I was saying, now I have to present you the best piece of all. This is a Brazilian top quality piece. Absolutely amazing. This amethyst is a specimen of the true power of this crystal, of the power of Mother Nature. Just look at this. Isn't it amazing? It's Brazilian. It's around 7 and 8 kilograms, I believe. And amethyst belongs to the Anion chakra frequencies, which are located into here. And this crystal really has a frequency which helps you with achieving enlightenment and improving that particular qualities of this chakra. When I sleep with this crystal, it also seems to have improving my dreams. Yeah, for example, tonight I had a dream that I was on a beach with a friend, which is actually from Brazil. It's Luana and Luana, friends. And I told him, hey, today I dreamed that we were on a beach and I saw you. And she was like, I dreamed that I was on a beach as well. I mean, how amazing was that? The same night, we both dreamed that we were on the beach when we were together. This crystal shows that astral traveling can be improved with it. So this is a very important crystal. Not to mention that religion and religious people a long time, as I was saying, no memory card space as well. Had to clean it up. This camera is so bad. As I was saying, religious people made brooches like the thing, necklaces and rings to represent their purity. And it's also one of the crystals which is mentioned in the Bible. I mean, how cool is that? Oh my gosh. Just something fell off. Like, oh my god. What the hell? Yeah, actually when you buy a geode, you will notice that some things are not stable and you might cut yourself off. I cut myself for the second time. They fell. They're not all quite stable, so you have to handle them with precision. They usually give you free stands when you buy their product. This is how it looks the other way. This is the geode. It was like spherical shape when it was cut into. I got to have this part, and I love how it smells like this part. It smells like the earth, you know. Amethyst has a very special smell, and really, I encourage you to buy a specimen of amethyst because it's really amazing. I mean, it's a journey of spirituality and knowledge. You have no idea how much fun you will have with this crystal. I mean, it's amazing just to meditate with it, to sleep with it. I deeply encourage you to have a big piece of amethyst because it's very different from the small ones, like these. The frequency is much bigger. So have fun buying your amethyst. I'll just put it in here because I'll cut myself for the third time. Have a good week.